Hello world, it is me, Hare, from the channel ahareoverahill. Today, coming you with a pre-release box of the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. We didn't get to go over to a pre-release event, so like a number of my other pre-releases, thought I would have picked up an actual box and actually just come over and like open it up on a video, going over a few of the things. Some of these, like how they do some of the constructions, like I really like how they say, yeah, sleeve, and then like now they have all of this. Like I guess it is like anti-tampering, but it is like there's so much. So I think they overblow it. Like I get it that it's like, oh cool, they get to include like little tokens and these huge things. I mean, if you're already going to include a spin down, why not include like some little tokens for counters? But a little black and red situation here. I think the set symbol's a little over designed, but it's good. And the only reason I say that is like it starts getting lost in itself. Okay, so here's the thing. I haven't exactly looked a lot into the spoilers a lot. I've occasionally have, but here's one of those cards that I was like, no one that I thought was like because I'm mostly into Commando. It's like one of the like things I was like, okay, no one's ever going to legitimately play this as a win con, but it is going to be somebody's going to attempt to play it. The Millennium Calendar is my pre-release. Whenever you untap one or more permanents till you untap step, put that many counters on the Millennium counter for 2 and tapping the calendar, double the number of time counters on the calendar. Then whenever there's 1,000 or more time counters on the Millennium calendar, sacrifice each opponent uses 1,000 life. It has a place. It legitimately has a place somewhere out in the world. But you would have to untap so many things. If it didn't say during your untap step, I would think this would be much more playable, but of course it would be broken in formats like Commando and the like. With my own LV deck, which I should be posting up there, I would almost immediately include that if that was the case. But because it says during your untap step, it's like it's questionable if I actually want to include it like outside of it's a dumb win con kind of situation. And I'm seeing the pack has more than one card in it. I'm not gonna be revealing the actual like. Oh, it's just there's the finality counters, the stun counters, and okay. Should have expected that. But yeah, the Millennium counter is an alternative win con that there's a whole lot more better win cons out there. But somebody's going to attempt to actually make it playable, and because it's time counters, not actually suspend counters and the like. And I'm only gonna be like, oh, here's a cool card that I'm seeing. And like I said, I'm not really playing a whole lot. I'm not actively like looking for anything. I'm probably just gonna skip to some of the uncommons if I see something cool. Okay, Descend. I'm forgetting the actual mechanic, the Threshold and Delirium. I'm somewhat glad that they are revisiting the have X number of cards in your graveyard or X Descend is quite literally have as long as you have at least 4 permanent. Descend 4 as long as you have 4 more. So that's a pretty cool thing of for probably a few decks that's probably gonna be pretty cool. I Gnome Compass enters the battlefield. You may search for basic land or a cave, so you do have fixing, which is cool. Um, and it's weird that then when we go back to Ixalan and it's almost immediately let's introduce gnomes into as a that makes some of the things like fungus or salamander worm. It's okay, that some of the creatures, but then it's I haven't read the lore, but gnomes? Did they just break out of the ground or something? Now we have. Okay, this is what I was talking about in my journal, and a new cycle. They're really finishing off the cycle of man lands. This is the Gruul 3/4 dinosaur that when it attacks another target attacking creature gets +2/+0 until the end of turn. Untap that creature. That I actually think is a somewhat cool thing and captivating cave. Okay, with the name of because this was right after the rail, I'm thinking that they might be going with some oddities with some of how they're doing up a few things. Like the crafting, taking the place of the basic lands. Deconstruction hammer. Okay, we have runes. Exile a target. Creature, vehicle, or non-basic lands. Cry one. Okay. They actually. I didn't think that they were gonna do vehicles, but I actually somewhat like the fact that they created at least a comment that says creatures or lands, which is pretty cool from my point of view. Quinzel Palamat Exemplar. Yeah, that's an uncommon. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Okay, great. Whenever one or more creatures you control, whenever one or more creatures you control with power greater than its base power deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Okay, that is pretty cool. Similar to my Storyver deck, if you place them green white anthems deck and then just have a lot of things with evasion, that could be quite cool. Plus the your opponents can't do some things during your turn. That is a pretty big boost. So just setting everything aside, the rare for this pack, Anam Kale, Thousandth Moon, whenever You attack with 1/1 non-known creatures, put a +1/+1 counter on animal Pacal, then create X 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. Now, X is the number of +1/+1 counters. Okay, that's in Boros. That's actually a pretty cool value, I'd say. Just the just getting it's a somewhat similar to Kimber and a few other it's a weird token deck that's oh yeah, you want to make Amnel and Amna pretty strong. Just put as many counters on it as possible. But the benefit of going tall is to go really wide, which is a pretty cool effect. I would not consider it over my Kimber's, over a few other decks, over Kimber for me, but I could definitely see it being played in a few certain decks. In different formats, probably Canlander maybe, or being played in the 99 of a few. I might actually want to consider that for my Boros deck, so yeah. Bat Colony. Whenever Bat Colony enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 black bat with flying for each mana spent from a cave spent to cast it. Whenever a cave enters your battlefield, put a +1/+1 count. Okay, that is pretty dang cool to make you really go for into wanting to do a cave tribal, and it's looking like almost every deck pack might legitimately have a cave in it. Ooh, first off, god, that is Fallout Island. That is a pretty dang cool island that's going on there. So yeah, we have a Valhalla Ancestral Echo flying in War 2 for we have a one a white and a blue for 2/2 flying War 2, another target creature or artifact. Okay, so for generic a white and a blue, I can blink something. That is somewhat cool there as a blinking commander. Maybe put him in. Might have a place in Blago, at least. And drop the card. We have Master Guide Mule. Master Guide Mule enters the battlefield. Create a 4/4 white blue golem. Craft with artifact. Exile this artifact. Exile another artifact you control or an artifact from your graveyard. Return this card. Transform under. Okay. So you can create an artifact, a 4/4 artifact creature token, to flip it. Okay, so the Master's Guide Mule transforms into a repeatable version of itself, but only active when it or another artifact enters the battlefield. This is an uncommon, I'm pretty sure, and I think it is going to see maybe limited play, but it's already 5 mana to create a 4/4, and then it's going to be 7 mana just to flip it. Yeah, no, actually with that, I don't even think it's gonna see limited play, it like unless you can reliably get out like artifacts, it's not like to then flip it. I don't think it's gonna like. Oh look, I had to create a for like the requirement like oh yeah I just had a artifact ETB and you can tap it to create an artifact. It's not worth like 12 mana and putting out a creature on top of it. It kind of sucks in that way. So yeah, who only knows. So yeah, another cave. Yeah, instead of basic lands, they're putting a cave into every guaranteed one cave into every thing, and I am okay. So here's the active thing that I am. What is somewhat getting me at the moment is that like overall, that's like Ixalan. Okay, like there is vampires. They are humans that are aligned with dinosaurs. Okay, I'm barely seeing dinosaurs. I'm seeing a few vampires, and of the humans, and pirates. They're supposed to be pirates. It's like, okay, I can understand. It's like, maybe go a little, like, Ixalan. It's maybe go a little bit less heavy on, like, the pirate, because pirates are on the focus here. Maybe go a little bit less on that, maybe a little less on the vampires, but they're still a prominent thing. But a huge thing is this is the dinosaur expansion. Where are the dinosaurs? And oh yeah, there's more folks. Going through some of these packs, I am not like, oh yeah, I'm getting that. I'm just not. Maybe I'm missing something, but I'm just not getting that feeling overall. Maybe they're replacing some of the like Inca things with like artifact creatures. Okay, I can totally get that. But at the same time, I'm not even sure. And Roaming Throne. As Roaming Throne enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Roaming Throne is that if a triggered ability of a creature that. Okay, so double triggers on any creature type. Okay, I can somewhat get with that. And maybe I'm not like reading because I'm not reading every single card. I'm not picking up on the whole like oh yeah, here's these creature types from the original set, and it's like okay, I can understand that they're wanting to go in a slightly different direction, but it's like still it's like gnomes. Where the freak do gnomes come from? That seems and like I still want my more folks, and I still want my vampires because this is the set that had the original Ixalan block was vampires, dinosaurs, more folks, pirates, uh, and humans that align with dinosaurs. So it's like, but then you get fungus snail, which is somewhat hard to save me from the glare. But that's in part my point. It's like, and elementals, and okay, they replaced all the treasures It's like, okay, they are replacing treasures with maps. Okay, okay, so this is probably less nautical, probably less vampires. So replace pirates with gnomes? That seems really out of left field for me in a way that I'm not too sure about. And like I said, I really haven't went deeply on spoilers. If I haven't said it, I haven't really went heavy on spoilers before here. But it is one of those uncommon. Oh, that is it's like it's one of those where's my things that I'm looking for. And it's like I'm not getting the same feelings as I did before. Captains on board. Whenever captures unborn attacks, you may tap to untap artifacts or creatures you control. If you do so, discover 3. Okay. Captain Storm Colossum Radio. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield or put a +1/+1 counter on target artifact you control. Okay, so and this is okay, so we have is it signpost uncommon for pirates? Okay. Different color combo for pirates this time around. I say that, but then it's the red white is a human soldier that really likes to do stuff with I may have to look over some of the spoilers proper and say where the fudge are they getting some of these? It's red red white was dinosaurs prior, and for a vampire, the rare vampire sanguine. Yeah, that somewhat solves it. Yeah, sanguine evangelist. Battlecry whenever attacks other. Oh, they brought back Battlecry. And when it enters the battlefield or dies, create a 1/1 back. Okay, for 3 mana, you get a 2/1 with Battlecry. And when it ETVs and dies, I'm underwhelmed by that. Seriously underwhelmed by that. For real, it's probably a good for draft, but and there's cats now. And the pirates, they were oh yeah, we have more than just humans, obviously. But it's cats finding gnome artifact creatures. This is one of those where is this where is this going and where is this coming from? And I'm neither here nor there. And roaming throne. Okay, I've got another roaming throne. Okay. Beyond that, not. Call me unimpressed so far. And when I picked up my pre-release box, I got a set booster. So let's try that. And see where this goes. And this one is what really surprised me about this. I was hearing somebody oh, where's the dragon? Jurassic Park set, and they were clearly talking about magic. That's weird. Then when I saw the set booster, yes, Jurassic World. Okay, that is unexpected. Art print. Okay. Theos, Striking Hero, Morpho Wizard. For 4 mana, scry 1, then reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land, put it on the battlefield tap, otherwise draw a card. Partner. Oh, okay. It's that guy. Swarming Emergence. It's straight for a black, a black and a green. It's hollow. From Ixalan. Return to the battlefield. Target non-permanent, non-land permanent in your graveyard with mana value less than or equal to the number of permanents in your graveyard. When does that? Oh, it's a sorcerer. It's a creature. No, it's not. Saw this guy in a few packs and Prerelease and a 2-door, like, oh dear, whenever you deal combat damage with it, you get to go digging for a creature and no land and get them straight onto the battlefield, and it's renewable. I actually like the rotation of the monocolored cards. I'm somewhat of a fan, definitely with the fact that the double face of them, I think is pretty cool. Bringer of the Last Gift, Human Demon. I like how I probably should familiarize myself with the of the Lost Caverns, because I am completely lost of like what this set is meant to like really be. It doesn't, in some ways, it doesn't directly feel like an extension of the Ixalan draw. Okay, when Bringer of the Lost Gifts enters the battlefield, if you cast it, each player sacrifices all other creatures they control. Then each player returns all creatures from their graveyards that won't put their. Okay, so exchange the graveyards. Okay. Jade. I'm anything that has the craft mechanic. I've always been, from what I've seen from it, I've been So Jade, I'm just not impressed by it. March of the Ancestor. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, target creature you control gets +2, +0, and gains vigilance. Pretty cool. Kazel, Exemplar, the cat lady that I actually liked. It's again, it's like, oh, this is a dang promo card? No, it's a basic land. It's like the island. It just completely and utterly threw me off. I guess cats are doing some amount of underground field research that includes going underground. Yeah. These set symbols are just like throwing me off. Of like, is it a common? Is it an uncommon? I think it's one of the over designs that's making a few set symbols really hard to read. But yeah, gameplay wise, obviously I don't know yet. I'll have to actually see. I'll have to get in a few games to actually see my actual opinions on the format. Looking over the cards, I am I'm even more like, where's the direction? Like, where has it been? Where is it going? I'm just curious. But as always, people, leave your thoughts about the lost caverns of Ixalan down in the comment section down below. See you around, folks.